from place to place, Good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers. Good morning, viewers. It is just about 7 a.m. And welcome to the Tobago Updates Morning Show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. As we continue to give God thanks for life, I am Julian Skeet.
And I am Maria Richardson George. And this is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Good morning to Tobago. Good morning, Trinidad. Those of you viewing in the Caribbean, and those of you on the live, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, Ria.
How are you doing today?
Good morning. And how are you doing this morning, Ria?
Not bad at all. You know, I realized that last night was not as cold as the previous nights, and I enjoyed that.
I must say, in my humble opinion, these times it's beautiful weather. Beautiful weather. I'm not complaining at all.
These are your days.
I am not complaining at all. You know, especially at this time. I normally am the one with the challenges in relation to, you know, the place feeling very warm. You know, being a bit musty and that kind of thing. So I am quite grateful, and I'm not complaining at all for the weather at this time.
I know, Julian, and let me just let our viewers know that even though when we get in here in the morning, it is freezing cold, Julian is that guy, Julian Skeet is that guy who still has a fan.
Yes.
A fan
yes.
stuck directly on him. I'll never understand it. I'll never understand it. And mind you, I'm almost 50. I can probably say I'm over 50, but I'll never understand the heat that he has. You know, but...
All right, viewers. So at this point, we head on over to news in 90 seconds.
Oh, thank you so much, Julian and Ria. And here's your news in 90 seconds for Thursday, the 2nd of February. One man was released from prison following an appeal in a stabbing incident. No retrial was ordered for Robert Green because the assistant DPP said there was not enough evidence to pursue it further. Green and another man, Hakeem Joseph, both from Darrell Springs, Scarborough, were charged with the murder of 17-year-old Zach Seram on September the 1st, 2010. The teenager was stabbed when he intervened in an attempt to part a fight by throwing bottles at one of the men. He was chased into a mall and stabbed by his assailants. Seram died 7 days later, despite visiting the hospital 3 times. In October 2017, Justice Frank C. Prasad found that the Tobago Regional Health Authority was culpable in Seram's death. Additionally, frequent cancellations of sailings for the Cabo Star cargo vessel are causing disruptions to the business sector in Tobago. The vessels sailing are disrupted whenever there is a cruise ship in the port, both in Scarborough and Port of Spain. Both ports are unable to accommodate cruise ships alongside the Cabo Star at the same time. As a result, Tobago's businessmen said that frequent changes are affecting the delivery of goods to the island, and they are currently frustrated. They are calling on the authorities to find an immediate solution to the problem. And finally, the Ministry of Works and Transportation reminded the public that traffic wardens appointed by the Commission of Police have the authority to issue fixed penalty notices to motorists who violate road rules and ordinances. The ministry issued a press release yesterday following the viral video depicting the attack on a traffic warden by an off-duty police officer. It stated that anyone that interferes with a traffic warden on duty can incur a fine of up to 10,000 TT dollars or a 6-month imprisonment. And that was your news in 90 seconds. Back to you, Julian and Ria.
Thank you very much there, indeed. And I couldn't help but note particularly that story in relation to traffic wardens. You know, that they have the authority and they need to remind persons of that. And I'm trusting that that also applies to officers who are off duty and perhaps not doing the right thing, that they too will also be made to uphold the law. And it's not just for, you know, the average Joe, as we say, or as we'd say to those international viewers, the average citizen living in the country. All right?
Most definitely.
So another interesting happening that we see here anticipated tomorrow is the discussions cadred to take place in the Parliament for what is intended to be the very first female commissioner of police to be appointed. Your thoughts, Ria?
My thoughts. We saw quite recently the very first president, a very first female president for Trinidad and Tobago. We have not yet had a first female. Yes, we did. Kamala Prasad-Bissessar, just a few years ago.
As Prime Minister.
As Prime Minister. But you know, to see a first female commissioner. Yes.
So we look forward to seeing. Yeah, I found the comments interesting from Gary Griffith. You know, he said it's, you know, as many would say, knowing the process, tomorrow is almost a foregone conclusion. If that's the decision of the government, it's going to go through and to be passed, and she will become. And you know, he, as usual, he indicated, you know, he will now focus on the politics, seeing that the position would now be gone. And his focus is now on the politics, and I suppose anybody focusing on the politics has that ultimate aspiration to be successful, one, to get in, and two, to become the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. And
I think that's probably where he is headed. But with regards the position of commissioner, I know that, you know, even though he had lost the position, that his heart was still there. But I understand that he's going to be a guest on GMT this morning, so I'm hoping that he'll be able to treat with some of those issues later on.
Very interesting indeed, and we look forward to those discussions. At this point, viewers, we're heading straight on into our birthday celebrations today. Let me get on into that list, Ria. That list, you know, is a nice lengthy list this morning, and we get started with my very good friend, Nadine Stewart Phillips, and I know she's probably going to nail me to the cross. But Nadine Stewart Phillips, I want to wish you a happy birthday. I know this is a few days behind, but you see, it's important to still recognize grace, beauty, capacity, no matter what.
That's
so my very good friend out there, Nadine Stewart Phillips, wishing you a happy birthday.
Looking lovely. And this is one of my beautiful sister-in-laws here. This is Erica George Lizama, celebrating her birthday today. Auntie Erica, love going out to you. This is my husband's sister. So we trust that you have a great one, and trust that Gilly pull out the stops today. All right, so have a great fun and lots of love from your family and all of us here at Tobago Updates.
All right, we have on screen.
Yes, my very good friend out there, Lydia P. Morris, celebrating her birthday today. Lydia, love going out to you. Trust that you have a great one. Some popping colors there, sis. And love going out to you from the Open Bible Standard Church's family.
All right, and who do we have on screen here, Ria?
You know,
I know them in these times.
Yes.
You knew them from...
I've known them since they were just about 2.5, 3 years old. I've known them as Boy and Shelby, but they are Chevelle and Siobhan Williams, celebrating their birthday.
And we certainly want to wish them a happy birthday, and God's continued blessing. Chevelle, my very good friend out there, I want to wish you a happy birthday. And we trust that you all enjoy the celebrations. Well, I know how it is at that Williams household, so I know they're going to have fun.
That's right. So lots of love going out to them this morning.
All right. On screen, my very good friend, Alicia Moses. Want to wish you a happy birthday. She's in vacation mode at the moment. You know, and everybody loves that little time out from work. So certainly want to wish you a happy birthday, Alicia. All right. And this is my good brother here in youth development, Lyndon Wilson. Easygoing, humble, calm, you know, never a worry. But ready to deal with anything. All right. I want to wish you a happy birthday, Lyndon Wilson, and God's continued blessings.
That's right. Never ever worry. You think of Lyndon, you think of never ever worry. We've got Sky Harper celebrating her birthday. Sky lived here in Tobago at one point with her parents, now living back in Trinidad. Sky Harper, lots of love going out to you this morning from your Tobago family and all of us here at Tobago Updates.
Yes, and this is the family connection that starts to roll out here. Birthday celebrations, mother and daughter. Mom was yesterday, Minette Otley, wife of Pastor Lowell Otley, and daughter Rachel Lee is celebrating today. So we're wishing them a happy birthday. All right, wife and daughter of Pastor Lowell Audley sending out his greetings as well, and the entire family. And this flows straight from the Audleys, again, another family connection. The Simons, and this is Auntie Annette and Auntie Lynette Simon. And we want to wish them a happy birthday, twins at that, out of the east, and looking lovely. All right, certainly wishing them a happy birthday, Auntie Annette and Auntie Lynette. And also birthday shout-outs going out to Linessa Hislop. And that's the daughter of Sherian and Lyndon Hislop, wishing you a happy birthday and God's continued blessing. And this entire family connection is also coming from Vern Simon, Frederick Laverne, and the entire family. All right, wishing you a happy birthday. And who do we have on screen here?
This is my sister and friend, Emily Nicholson Cunningham, celebrating her birthday today. Emily, love going out to you.
She seems to be doing a magical thing with age. Emily appears not to be aging at all.
She's going back in time. We have to find out the secret.
Certainly wishing you a happy birthday coming from Rhea Orr as well. I know all of us here sending our love out to you, Emily Nicholson Cunningham. Continue to celebrate and enjoy. Well, I know Rhea has probably got plenty in store. That's she friend and that's she real friend from long time. All right, so viewers, we want to wish each and every one of you, all those celebrating out there, a happy birthday, and to thank you so much for continuing to connect with us here at the Tobago Updates Morning Show. Rhea, who do we have coming up on the rundown this morning?
Well, you know, Julian, we start things off this morning talking about the Tobago Boat Owners Consultations, synopsis, and the consultation on the user fee for Little Tobago. That particular issue. And here to chat with us would be Assemblyman Natisha Charles Panton, who's the Secretary for the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development.
All right, and we're going to also have some discussions going with Fiola Powder, and she's the owner of Unifloral Fantasy, and we'll be speaking about sip and pot on Valentine's Day. So we look forward to those discussions.
Not sip and paint, sip and pot. Looking forward to that.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then we're going to be wrapping things up, chatting with NWBC Hall, who's the owner and founder of Above Average Fitness, about the Main Ridge Forest Fitness Challenge. Yeah, I hear challenge, Julian, and I feel pain all over my body already. You know, that's just the way it goes.
Don't worry, folks. Rhea is a survivor, and she's going to make it through that challenge as well. All right, so we want to thank you so much for the continued love and support here for the Tobago Updates Morning Show. Each and every one of you continuing to connect with us. And we see on the screen there coming up Assemblyman Natisha Charles Panton. And everybody says this is the strong and capable woman with the long name division. She's got the capacity and that skill set. All right. We're certainly looking forward to having her coming up soon in the lineup here as we get started with the discussions this morning, looking at the Tobago Boat Owners Consultation, getting a little synopsis from the Secretary on the matter as we go forward, and we also speak naturally broadly about matters related to her division. All right, viewers, we want to thank you so much, those of you joining us via TV, those listening in on the radio, and those of you online, as this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
It's a different type of thing down there, and we party till we drop down there, with a lot of pretty girls down there, down in Tobago. This is how it's gonna go. They better look up and look, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look out below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look out below, 'cause this is your show. Live more.
Comfort Inn and Suites presents Sweet Soca, the all-inclusive edition, featuring the Vice Queen of Soca, Van Lyons Alvarez.
Let's go, let's go!
And the Viking of Soca, Bungie Garlin.
I'm not going no small fret. Let me extend my apologies.
Welcome to an all-inclusive premium experience with an all-star DJ cast, live steel band, a fully stocked premium bar, and cuisine from around the world, and many more surprises. This is a staycation package you don't want to miss. For more info, call our hotline 612-3835. It's the Comfort Inn and Suites Sweet Soca, the all-inclusive edition, Saturday, 4th February 2023.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers. It is 7:16 a.m. and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. In this segment, viewers, we have the opportunity to speak with Assemblyman Natisha Panton, Secretary with responsibility for the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment, and Sustainable Development within the Tobago House of Assembly. Good morning to you and welcome.
Good morning, Julian.
All right, you know, it's a big name division with plenty areas of responsibility, but for some reason, some say you seem to be managing it with grace, with style, and with a level of comfort. Tell us, how has that experience been for you thus far, if you were to rate on a scale of 1 to 10, that overall responsibility for the division and driving in that area?
Well, if I have to rate it a scale from 1 to 10, I believe I'd give it a 9. A 9. The experience at the division, it's a learning experience. I've worked in a division for now 18 years. And I'm really happy that I would have been able to mobilize an excellent team at the division, excellent teams at the division. And together we have executed a lot within the year. And we're looking forward to this year once funding, is available. And we're really looking forward to working together to do the same, right? And of course, I like to give a shout out. I like to commend people for their hard work. And you've seen a lot of the division staff making sacrifices, especially in the night time. You see the plant protection unit and the home gardening unit working into the night trying to eradicate the giant African snail. And when you see that level of commitment, I mean, it's touching, it's really hard, it touches my heart to see that, there are people out there who want to protect the resources of Tobago and they really want to see us move forward, given, our past. So I'm really delighted to be part of this entire movement towards making Tobago the greatest little island on the planet.
All right. And as we head straight on into discussions, one of our focus areas this morning is speaking to the Tobago Booth Owners Consultation. Yes. So quite recently, your division would have reached out in an effort to connect with, those boat owners and so on to discuss a number of issues. So I want to start from the perspective of synopsis-wise. What was your primary objective for the consultations? And then we will dive in a little bit more to some of the issues that would have been treated with. Okay,
so the board of TADCO came to me after the success of the Capital of Paradise. And, the whole of Tobago by now know how talented the person that we put in charge of managing the vessel, Mr. Ricardo Alfred. He gave the suggestion along with the board members that we should try to, first of all, fall in line with the regulations, especially the new regulations that surfaced, as well as to try to, how to put it, capitalize on the long line fishing industry. So the aim was really to sensitize boat owners on these new regulations and how they could capitalize on the opportunity to basically catch fish like yellowfin tuna and these types of fishes that we export to the US, how they can capitalize on the market, because it is a billion-dollar industry. So that was the aim, to see how Tobago could fit into the bigger picture. Currently, we only have maybe about 2 long-line fishing vessels in Tobago. And, in the grand scheme of things, that is just a small, a small part of it. So it's really how to grow the industry and with a particular focus on Tobago.
Now, I indicate to persons all the time, consultation sound nice in
Yes.
theory.
Yes.
What would have been the response like in terms of participation from your target boat owners and so on, in terms of that came out and participated actively in the initiative?
All right. So let me first say that, yes, consultations, yes, it's something that we are accustomed to. And unfortunately, because people are so accustomed to hearing consultations, you don't get the turnout that you would hope to get. Why? Because in the past, they would have gotten, called out farmers, called out fishermen, tried to consult with them. And the cry is usually, nothing has been done since. So why should I bother to come out? Why should I put my livelihood aside and come to a consultation when nothing will happen? At the boat owners consultation, we had 112 boat owners attending. And even though that was just a small fraction of what we really have, they would have contributed significantly in terms of how they perceive the industry and how they invest in their craft in order to survive. And, I think that it is, in all fairness, stakeholders should give us a chance. We're new. We don't have a reputation of, failure, let's put it like that. And if you have something new, why not try it? Why not come out and listen? Maybe this time it just might make a difference. And if you look at the capital of Paradise, it would have made several trips last year, and most of the trips are successful, right? With every trip, you would have seen an increase in the catch. And obviously, we have been trying to show the public that, this is a billion-dollar industry. This is what could happen if we make the investment. So why not come out and listen? It could make a difference. We could definitely see that there's money worth making out there in the fishing industry. And then you have a group of people who know what they're doing. They know, they are aware of the regulations. They know how to train fishermen. We started to train young people now, especially those with the experience around the coast. And it doesn't debar anybody from inland. Like, I'm from Mason Hall, and I keep saying the captain of the capital of Paradise is from Mason Hall. But we are inviting persons. If you want to learn about the industry, send your children, right? And we will train them on how to fish and to export. And we have made that commitment this year. And so come out to the consultations. You just might see a difference. I've heard farmers saying the same thing. Ms. Panton, if you want to consult with me, come in the garden. But I mean, realistically, if I have 3,000 registered farmers, and if you've been following my Facebook page, I have been going from not only farmers, horticulturists, agro-processors, all the different stakeholders. At what point do you think I'll get to you, right? So I have been losing weight first of all, which is a good thing. I'm trying to reach out to everyone. But come to the consultations, because you'll have the same information being disseminated, and then you get an opportunity to hear what's going on, around Tobago with, the persons of similar trade. So that is my plea to the population. Consultations at this point, with this new administration, it is important, because it is the way that we would hear from you all the challenges. We may be able to say to some extent why things might have failed, so to some extent, and you might as well have some experiences. And in going forward, we can set new policies for you. Right? So while I'm coming out there, I'm taking the burn, I've been walking, I haven't gotten to every farmer, at least try to make the effort to come in. Right?
All right. So I realized some of the areas that would have been treated with at the consultation, small boat regulations, obtaining commercial fishing license, etc. Beyond the consultation where this information would have provided, does your division and by extension TADCO lend that support for boat owners who definitely want to follow through in these areas, but may not have the wherewithal because their focus is really their trade and so on? Does the division and TADCO offer and lend that level of support?
Of course. So TADCO will lend that level of support. At the moment, we are considering doing a bit of restructuring at the Department of Marine Resources and Fisheries. Why? Because that has been the cry from most of the stakeholders, and to some extent why the stakeholders, they are saying that they're refusing to come to the division, right? So definitely I hear the cry, but sometimes, there are challenges internally, and you have to treat it in a particular way. It takes some time, but there are committed, hardworking people at the division, and they will also give you the relevant, point you into the direction that you're supposed to go in.
All right. We want to dive over very quickly as well to another consultation that would have taken place through your area of responsibility, looking at the establishment of a user fee for Little Tobago Wildlife Sanctuary.
Yes.
Before we dive into the user fee itself, just give us an update. What's the status now in terms of access? We know that was one of the things that was spoken about very highly. The issue that, the opportunity to visit Little Tobago was almost a struggle. The vessels to get there, the jetty, the port when you get across there. What's the status of that upgrade and that focus that's being looked at?
All right. So I've heard the cries of the people in the community, and of course that's the Chief Secretary's community as well. And I would say that given the resources that the Department of Natural Resources and Forestry has, it tried its best, right? They recently got a boat, rented a boat from an individual, and that is how they're able to service the island and maintain the island. That's what I mean by service. But outside of that, you have private individuals who would utilize the island regularly. Now, Little Tobago, it's a protected site, and of course it's under the law, under the Forest Act. So the department tries its best to more or less prevent illegal hunting, and they try their best to do things. But as I said, we need resources to do that. And I like to remind people that my division, while it has the longest name, it doesn't have a lot of money. That's the irony, right? And nationally, if you have to point out in terms of development, it was estimated at what, 24 million. And 23,600,000, that goes to wages. So if you think about how much money I have to manage, if I have to utilize those figures, I would only have $400,000 to manage the entire division, right? So that's not realistic. So definitely the administration, they know that, and they try their best to support the division in the best way they can. Outside of that, I took the decision that we should try to monetize some of the resources we have so that we stay afloat. And that is why the food hub surfaced, the Low Great River Cocoa Experience, and then a lot more things will be rolled out. And that is my attempt to keep things afloat. Because money isn't always, I'm not going to sit down and hope that I will get money from somewhere. When we have a lot of resources there that we can just wake up and dust out. We have a lot of equipment that have been lying idle for years, 10, 12 years, that we've not been using. Let's put them, we have incubators just there, we had harvesters just parked up and run down. We have a lot of assets that need maintenance. We have a lot of stations just completely run down when we can utilize them in a better way. But I'm it's difficult to do everything at the same time. So we're trying to prioritize and address the concerns as we go along and as money comes in, right? I like to remind people as well, not because you see a lot of equipment parked up there, well, they're not parked up there anymore, at least the tractors are out, the bucket truck, they're out, but not because you see them there, it means that my division has paid for them, right? We only paid the mobilization, just the basic fee. We still have your outstanding balances. A lot of the projects, I haven't paid for any of them. We just paid the mobilization. And if, you know, several projects across Tobago, they have not been paid for. So if you look at it realistically, we'll be owing a lot of people money. So we have to start thinking in terms of not just spending the money to do things, but you're making an investment, right? Where these assets will be making money in return, right? So that is why we're trying to build out special purpose companies so that we increase not only efficiency and service delivery to the people of Tobago, but also to bring back money for maintenance. As one of my technical officers said to me, you know, the sensor in one of these tractors could cost about $3,000, just the sensor alone. If that goes bad, it parks up there for years. if no money comes into the vote or some other priority comes up. Yeah, and then the division, it has to compete with other divisions. We had increment with our last year, so the division of infrastructure would get more money than the division of agriculture, especially during the consultations. If people just focus on infrastructure, they're not saying we want food, we want, you know, so that's how priority is set. So the user fee surface from that, you know, being able to maintain the island, we would need to implement some sort of user fee to maintain, just to have basic services and to improve the service delivery at Little Tobago.
You said something that particularly stood out in your comments a while ago.
Yes.
You're prepared to look for ways to monetize.
Yes.
In terms of whether it be, you looked at the food hub that would have been introduced,
correct,
the Le Coco estate and so on, and putting prices and fees to this so as to ensure that there's revenue generated.
Correct.
And the question is, in a time in our space in Tobago where it is politicians only do these things probably when they are on their way out of politics, that they take the hard decisions. You are choosing to take these kinds of decisions and to consult and to look at the real issues. How has that been received by the public in particular, especially coming out of these consultations, in looking at the user fees for Little Tobago?
Tobagonians embrace the natural environment, right? That's one thing I want to say. We know the value of what we have. And we know that if we continue to manage it in a way that isn't sustainable, we will lose what we have, right? So I am very proud of Tobagonians because they have said, I agree with the user fee in the first instance. And I was blown away. And also because they understand the challenges that the division would have had for years, right? Just the mere fact that, you know, just to purchase a boat to go across to the island, you know, we had difficulties. And we have boats that just parked up there that, you know, we cannot fix because of funding issues and priorities. So they know that it is difficult. The officers as well, they have to go across to ensure that the island is protected. We have one of the most beautiful reefs there, Angel Reef, right? Right there, we have a magnificent brain coral that we have to protect. Yeah, so people understand that, and a lot of the livelihoods surrounding the natural resources there, it's highly dependent on us protecting that little island you see there and the brain coral. So people agree generally with the user fees. So we just have to build and make the investment, I like to say, and the investment is in the people, right, and show them how they could benefit if we manage it more sustainably. And, you know, we move forward there, and that's the real purpose of the consultation, letting them know that this, you know, this would affect your livelihood. And they know that as well, right? They tell us that all the time, right? And they are the ones to say, okay, yes, we will go forward with this proposal, and no, we prefer it to be done this way. And then we move forward because we are managing together, right? So that is what I love about Tobagonians. They know the value of the resources we have here.
All right, so taking the hard decisions,
Yeah.
you're going steadfast, and you're getting the kind of support in terms of moving it along. What was the response like to this consultation in terms of numbers? I know you indicated the numbers in relation to Shore Park with regards to the boat owners.
Yes.
What was the response like for this consultation that took place in Speyside regarding the establishment of a user fee for Little Tobago?
I believe over 60 people turned out, which wasn't bad. Because if we don't have to look at the figures alone. What you have to look at is, you know, the representatives particularly, who came to the consultation. So you had tour guides, you had persons in marine industry, you had different stakeholders coming out, people representing different organizations such as ERIC and all these people. So we had a good turnout for the first user fee consultation, but we still have to do more consultations. We promised them that we'll get back to them, and I also gave a deadline, a timeline for TADCO and the Department of Natural Resources and Forestry, that they are supposed to build out not only the user fee, but a product that would benefit the entire community within by Easter. And people felt that, oh, that is such a short timeline. And I said, yes, you have to give people timelines, because you want them to understand that we are serious about what we're doing. This is not a consultation where you come and then you wonder, why did I attend several years after? You came because you want to see progress. So you have to put timelines and deadlines to things. And I think that was one of the things that weren't done in the past.
All right, so we can expect, just as we look to wrap this morning, follow-up consultations with regards to the user fee, and as well in terms of the boat owners.
Correct.
In terms of the progress with regards to the issues that would have been raised. And your timeline that would have been identified is by Easter for both, or the Easter for the user fee one only?
Easter for the user fee one only, right? But in terms of the boat owners consultation, that has to continue across Tobago, because if you have only 112 people coming to the first consultation, that means you have thousands of people around the island that did not attend. So we have to reach them, you know, in the different... So
it's going to move around. It's not going to stay within Scarborough is only the start.
I advise them that they should go into the different communities and try to meet several groups, right? So that was only the start. But I want to say that the capital of Paradise, just to remind everybody that that is the only vessel that is currently doing long line fishing, right? We probably only have one other vessel in Tobago that is capable of doing long line fishing. So we are calling out persons who want to make the investment in the long line fishing industry. This is now your opportunity to come forward and let TADCO manage your vessel to your benefit, right? So that is what, that is the aim. Right, we have mastered the art of the longline fishing industry through the capital of Paradise. So we are offering the services to you all. We are building out crews. So we are calling you to make that investment to your benefit.
All right, Secretary Natisha Charles Panton on set here with us, Secretary for the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment, and Sustainable Development. And we want to say thank you so much for joining us on set this morning. And you appear certainly to be standing out as one of those outstanding secretaries, being seen out there in terms of your performance and work, and kudos in continuing the efforts with your division. So far, the reviews coming from members of your division are quite good, generally. And in fact, we see one online now. Well, I'm not sure if it's a staff member, but Secretary Panton, you're doing a great job. Please take care of yourself. Tobago will reap what you sow. So once again, thank you so much for joining us on set here this morning. Viewers, we have that continued commitment and that plea coming from the Secretary in relation to participate in the consultations, let your voices be heard, because she's giving that commitment that this administration is really seeking to incorporate the views and the perspectives of Tobago, and consultations is one of those methods, even as she continues to do her walkabout as another strategy in terms of reaching and connecting. So we look forward to those outcomes, and we'll certainly keep you updated here on the Tobago Updates morning show. Viewers, we thank you so much for the continued love and support. And coming up in our next segment, we're going to be chatting with Fiola Powder, owner of Unifloral Fantasy. And we're speaking sip and pot on Valentine's Day. Ria is perched and ready to take all the tips and information that's going to come forward here, and I'm certain she's calling my name out there as well. But we thank you so much for the continued love and support, each and every one of you, those of you joining us via TV, those listening in on the radio, and those of you online. Remember that this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top-class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement, and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Switzerland, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Excel Spa by Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning.
Welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show for Out and About with me, Candice Jackson. And we are here at Cafe Donglo in Buku. If you haven't been here before, well, you need to be here and find out why. This is like one of my favorite spots. It's also the favorite spot of our producer. So you need to come on down. But we are here to talk about something really special. But in the meantime, I'm going to walk you through the bar. I'm going to say hi, Chazal, who is the owner of Cafe Donglo, and we have our most able-bodied bartender, Darian, who is at it at the bar. Oh my goodness, you're going to want to taste his cocktails. Absolutely amazing. However, you're going to come with me and I'm going to show you this little setup that we have here planned for Valentine's Day. Now, if you haven't made your plans yet for Valentine's Day, you're going to find out. You're going to want to be a part of this. So to tell us a little bit more, I am going to introduce you to Miss Fiola the Noon. Yes. Good morning and welcome to you.
Good morning, Candice, and good morning, Tobago.
So viewers, you are seeing beautifully painted pots. You are seeing a paintbrush in her hand, which means, tell us.
That we are up to something, right? We are up to something. So on Valentine's Day, I am having a sip and pot event. So that event is basically similar to sip and paint.
Yes.
But this one is a little different because the pot is actually your canvas, right? And after you painted your hand-painted pots, you're going to hand-paint your pots. After you paint it, you also get a plant to go with your pots. And that's happening on Valentine's Day.
Oh my God, I am excited already. Because viewers, I mean, we've gotten used to that whole sip and paint thing, and you get to take home your paintings and whatnot.
Yep.
But at this point in time, for this, you get your own pots and your designs, and you have your templates for those designs as well?
Yes, and you have your plants.
And you have your plants. So what kind of plants are you offering to the public?
A beautiful Chinese evergreen plant. One of the most beautiful Chinese evergreen plant that there is, aglonemia. Actually, one of this ones.
Oh, take a look at it, guys.
It's a nice indoor plant. So you can actually take this pot when you finish and you put it in a nice little corner of your home to add to your decor and stuff like that. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about why you chose to do this. You chose to do pots instead of just like a canvas for Valentine's Day.
All right. Well, I developed, I developed a love for hand-painted pots, and I also love plants. So I started this last year, and I said, you know what, why not do something for Valentine's so people could do something different, give people a chance, give people a chance to, you know, try something different and also share what I do with others as well.
Yes.
And mostly plant lovers. Yeah.
Yes. And tell me about this bonding moment that you're hoping to create while on Valentine's Day, you know, while you and your partner are here at Cafe Donglo in this beautiful garden space.
Yep.
I mean, viewers, take a look around, I mean, and just picture it at night. Oh, what time is the event? 4 p.m. in the afternoon. 4 p.m. and it's going to get to night and you have this beautiful garden lights.
Yeah.
I mean, tell me about that experience that people can have.
Well, you know, Valentine's Day, every day, but especially Valentine's Day, we celebrate love, right? So we want to create a nice, cozy environment. You know, you come out, you look nice, you sit, you have your sips, you have your finger foods, and we just want to create a beautiful environment to celebrate love. You know, you don't have to be a partner, it could be your mommy, you know, somebody, a friend, you could just pay for somebody to just come and have a good time. Yeah.
And you know, this is obviously a different sort of a romantic Valentine's Day kind of thing, right?
Yeah, because painting relaxes you.
Yes.
It does. It's very therapeutic. And plants brings life. So with therapy and life, love, you're good to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know, many of us, you know, with our partners and so on, things might not be 100%, but this could be an opportunity for
to bond.
To work on it.
Yeah, you could sleep over and do a little secret if you choose, you know. You can.
So what got you into painting and being an artist?
Well, I love arts. I really love arts. But I kind of got brave, to be honest, from teaching my daughter to do art. I say, you know what, I'll do art while she's doing arts. And then I tried to do my own thing, and then I realized, oh, you have a lot of talent. So I started to tap into that. And, you know, I just started to do my own design. And my own design just come up in my head, or I might get inspired from a picture or something. And this is what it came to.
So tell me about some of these designs that we're looking at. Like, is there anyone that's special to you?
All are special, actually. But they have different times. All are special. All are special. Every one. Yeah.
So can you describe some of them as we're having a look?
All right. Well, this one is tribal. Yeah, this one is a nice tribal one. This one is a nice leafy. And this has a nice tassel, you know, it's give a nice girly feel.
Yes.
And this one literally looks like art itself. You know? Yeah.
That is beautiful.
It is. And this one is actually one of my favorites, to be honest with you. It's a beautiful design. And this one, and then we have this one over here for, you know, I just say, why not create something for the Rastas? You know what I mean?
I love that.
Yeah.
So then when people come here, they would get a choice of their design?
No, well, actually, I already chose the design and the color. I chose something easy and something beautiful, yeah, to do on the day itself. So they wouldn't be doing any of this that they see. They're going to be doing another design, something even more beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah.
So something certainly to look forward to. Now, you also created these pots, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, well, actually, I purchased them from someone, and I just, they are nice concrete pots, and I purchased them, and I do my designs on them.
And I'm seeing here you have them on a little, what do you call this, a spool?
Well, this is actually my cake stand, because I used to do cake before. So I was thinking, what can I use to, you know, spin it? And then I say, you know, I have my cake stand, so I pull it out, and my cake stand is now my paint stand. Mind you, it's my paint stand. Right.
Okay. So, I mean, people would just have the pots on the
Yes, but they're going to be smaller pots because these are a bit big to be able to manage at the time. So they're going to be nice, cute, smaller pots. Yeah, that they're going to be able to manage good and paint in a timely manner while still enjoying and having sips and finger foods and stuff. Yeah.
And then what are you hoping to achieve at the end of this?
I am hoping to create, I hope that people could appreciate plants more, arts more, and have the love for concrete even more, you know, to be able to appreciate concrete plants, because before they have the stuff on it, the paint, they're just plain. But you know, after you get to paint them, you realize, wow, these are literally canvas. You could just, you know, paint how you feel and stuff like that. So I hope people really feel full after this.
And then why did you choose concrete pots over the traditional clay and that kind of thing?
Well, probably I'm not getting any clay, but eventually if I could find clay, I will do clay as well.
because they're going to do some really nice designs. So we'll grow from here.
Grow.
Yeah.
So this is your opportunity to get on board with Fiola. I mean, of course, I'm supposed to be painting, by the way, but I'm too busy enjoying our conversation right here in the gardens of Cafe Dong Lo, where you need to be on Valentine's Day with your significant other. So give me an idea of how much it costs to be a part of this event.
Okay, well, it's $500. You have
per couple?
No, per person.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, if when couples, we could do a discount. Yeah, we could do a discount for couples. So it's $500 per person, and that includes your pot, your plant, wine, and
good wine.
Great wine.
Great
awesome
wine.
Awesome
Let me
wine.
emphasize it's great wine.
Awesome wine and finger food. So you just have to come and we will take care of you for the afternoon. Yeah.
And folks, again, I'm going to say, if you haven't been to Cafe Dong Lo, you need to check it out. It's a wonderful place to be if you're up for that relaxing feel, for that just, you know, that little, you know, away from the noise and everything. This is the place to be.
Yep, it is. It is a place to be, especially on Valentine's Day.
So tell me, I mean, what does Cafe Dong Lo mean to you? You know, why do you like it?
Listen, Cafe Dong Lo is everything to me. I literally saw Cafe Dong Lo build, you know, I saw it build. So it's therein, it's close to me. It's Chisel and Kerry Day, you know, it means a lot. It's a very nice, cute little spot, cozy, warm, nice ambience, nice garden side. It's just beautiful. When it's nice, you have nice lights, nice food, nice drinks. It's just a beautiful spot. I love Cafe. I love Cafe Dong Lo.
All right. So how can people get in touch with you if they want to be a part of Sip and Pot?
Right. So they can call me 350-8330, or they can call, or they can WhatsApp, or they can also follow my Instagram page, Eunice Floral Fantasy. Yeah. Candice, you're doing good?
I mean, I'm not much of a
I hope you're attending because you're doing good.
I mean, I think I should be here on Valentine's Day.
And this is the base. So every one pot is gonna be base because you have to prime it before. So everybody will receive a prime pot to be able to just do their designs on. Isn't it beautiful?
It's going to be easy. So you don't need to have painting skills?
No skills. I sure Candice don't have any skills at all.
No, I do not. I mean, I don't think I've painted much since I was in primary school.
Oh, wow. And guess what? You don't need to, because I didn't have any painting background to see I could rail. But you know, as you tap into yourself, the more you grow, you explore, you see what you like, and then you realize you're good at something.
Yes.
Yeah, so just come and try it. Come and try it, and it will be beautiful. It will be a really nice event.
Great.
Yeah.
So for those of you who are a little intimidated by the canvas painting, why not try painting a pot? And of course, what better way to do it than to do it with your significant other on Valentine's Day? Something different, something out of the ordinary than just a candlelit dinner. I mean, you get to get your hands dirty per se, but not quite too dirty. I mean, you could be a little bit careful. But yes, get some good wine. I'm going to emphasize this good wine. You get good wine here, right? And I want to thank you so much to Fiola.
Thank you, Candice.
Of course, and of course, thank you to Chazelle, the owner of Cafe Dong Lo, for allowing us to be here. And make sure you get in touch with Fiola. Be a part of this. Is something you certainly don't want to miss. It's going to be a wonderful bonding time with you and your partner. All right, viewers, so thank you so much, and don't go anywhere because there's lots more coming up after.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice can't get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. If sickness catch you off guard, I tell them never ever worry. If times fall on you real hard, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Wow, viewers, welcome back this morning to the Tobago Update Morning Show, and that's a nice live shot of the roundabout at Orkinscure. All right, that is Orkinscure, the Orkinscure roundabout. The traffic seems to be quite minimal at this time, but again, it is just about 7:54. So if you're getting to Scarborough, now is your time to be on those roads. Well, viewers, at this time we are chatting with NWBC Hall, and he's the owner and founder of Above Average Fitness. This morning he's on the program to chat with us about a Main Ridge Forest Fitness Challenge. Endo, expect anything with you. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
What are you up to now?
Well, the Above Average Fitness group decided to do a King and Queen of the Hill. We'll be heading to French Fort Hill. Along to the Division of Food Security and Natural Resources decided to collaborate with us to commemorate the Tobago Main Ridge Forestry, the Main Ridge, so to say.
To celebrate it.
To celebrate it, yes,
Okay.
to celebrate it. And in doing so, they decided to do a fitness challenge, which would be held on March the 30th. So on the morning of our event, they will be doing an aerobic burnout to the bottom of the hill after our event.
Right, so you're going to be joining with them.
Yes, so we're joining along with them.
All right, now let me go back a little bit here. In terms of Above Average Fitness, what is Above Average Fitness about? I mean, we understand fitness, but this is above average. So what do you cater to?
Right, so we cater to sporting events that's, not really targeted much by groups in Tobago. So we do gymnastics and we do triathlon.
Right.
But we decided this year that we want to do something different. We wanted to do a run, a 4-series hill run. So the first run would be at the French Fort Hill.
A 4-series run?
4-series run. So we're looking to go throughout the year.
Right. But this is just going to be the first of the 4.
This is the first of the 4. The French Fort Hill. Why we use the hills and why we decided to do a run? To encourage a more healthy lifestyle and to bring more camaraderie to the fitness groups in Tobago. And most importantly, we noticed that there is a rise in obesity in young children. So we want to help eradicate it. And we also want to encourage people to train in the morning, where you can raise endorphins and help you have a better day. Mark Twain said once, the best thing to do is the hardest thing, the first thing in the morning. So always
could you repeat that, please? The best thing?
The best thing to do is the hardest thing for you in the morning. So you break all fears one time. It help the body operate better throughout the day. For this race, to encourage persons to come out and, to challenge themselves, and not just challenge yourself, but challenge one another, we have prizes. And Mr. Ria, I want to thank every single one of the assemblymen in the THA. I sent out a proposal to them, asking them for a small donation, and so far it's going good. I got something from most of them.
Yes.
So the first place, male and female, will receive $500 each. The first place, oldest male and oldest female, will receive $500 each. The first place, youngest male and youngest female, which would be under 16, will receive $250 each. And the largest group to reach the top of the hill must be wearing the same jersey and registered, will receive $1,000.
All right, so let's just get this clear. So you can register as an individual or as a team.
So you could register as an individual and you could register as a group.
Right.
With the division joining in with us, for the burnout, the largest group in the aerobic burnout at the end of when we come back down there on the Codler Hall field, the largest group will receive $4,000. So I believe the pocket prize here is for the largest group, but we still encourage individuals to come out. Also on the day, on the morning, you can also register on that day, which will be February the 12th. You can register on that day after the race for the main forage, for the main ridge challenge from now. The main ridge challenge will be on March the 30th.
All right, now when is this particular event supposed to take place?
So this event takes place on February the 12th.
Right.
February the 12th, we meet at the Codler Hall field. Registration begins at 5:30. The race begins at 6:30. Adults over 16 years, they pay $25 to register, and under 16 years, you pay $15 to register.
All right, and this is a call for all persons. Now, the year has just started, and a lot of persons would have had their New Year's resolutions to get fit for 2023, and some persons are trying to get their carnival bodies in shape, Julian Skeet particularly. How important would it be for them to use this challenge to sort of kickstart some of their goals for 2023?
I believe in fitness. I believe in fitness as much as getting up and walking around your yard. I believe in it, and I believe that it would help. I believe that fitness not only helps you physically, but also mentally. It helps you relieve stress, and especially if you're body up with somebody, you could talk. So fitness on a whole helps. So getting involved will help. Ms. Ria, the first event is Frankfurt. The second event, we're not leaving our country, people. We're looking at the Charlottesville Hill. The other two events are surprises.
Wow, the Charlottesville Hill, you say?
Yes, the last time.
Is it walking downhill?
No. We're going up the hill. I believe the last time Tobago saw the top of Charlottesville Hill is when the chief sec got married. So come out. We encourage you to come out.
Wow, that is a serious challenge, but I think worth it. And though you keep talking about how you start the day, and you encouraging persons to start the day with that exercise. How important? Because some persons say, well, the mornings are a little bit difficult. What is the difference between exercise or that physical activity on a morning as opposed to the afternoon?
All right. So in the morning, the body has certain hormones. Hormones like the endorphins, and there's another one called the BDNF. If we produce these hormones, as I said before, it will help the body operate better. Why I don't mind exercising in the afternoon, because I actually have an exercise group where we exercise in the afternoon. But exercise in the afternoon, you have to set your mind for it. Meaning to say that it's after you go through the whole day, you work, you do all these different things, and then you're saying, boy, I don't go and exercise now, boy. Your body tired. But if I start my day with exercise,
doesn't it tire you out?
It wouldn't tire you out entirely, but the mind will be at a certain state.
Okay. So mornings it is. Mornings it is. All right, so Tobago, this is a clarion call for all of us to get up and get ready. This is coming up on the 12th of February.
Yes, sir.
And we gather at, and I'm saying we, because I'm putting my mind in a gear here to attempt this. So we gather, at the bottom of French Fort.
No, we gather at the Codler Hall field.
Codler Hall field.
Yes, Codler Hall
all right, and there's going to be a warm-up exercise there?
We warm up, and the race begins at Codler Hall field.
Now, this is a race. This is not just a run or a walk. This is a race. This is getting to the top.
First to the top.
In a timely fashion.
Well, yeah,
first to the top.
First to the top.
In the shortest space of time.
In the shortest space of time.
And I might surprise everyone and make it and make it to the top end. You never know.
Never know.
Yeah, 2023, anything can happen. Remind us again of the registration. When is registration?
Registration is on Didi.
All right, and that's $25 over 16.
Over 16. And $15 under 16.
And there's a prize. You see that prize? I love how you catered. You're pushing the under 16s. The under 16s. Yeah?
Price for everyone.
All right. How can persons contact you for some more information?
You can contact me at 499-7275, or you can contact me on Facebook or Instagram.
7275?
7275, or you can contact me on Instagram or Facebook in Dubisia Mari Michael Hall or Professor Hall.
Okay, Professor Hall. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the program. And we're going to try to remind our viewers of this challenge. This is the first of 4 challenges for the year 2023. And we want to encourage you. This is your time to get up and get active. And this helps not only you, but it keeps you around for a long time for your family. So this is an encouragement to all of us to get up and get active. Get up and get active. And for those of you who are interested in getting your carnival bodies in shape, or even beyond that, it's about living a healthier life. Yeah? Thank you so much, Endo, for being on the program with us. Viewers, we're going to leave it there for today, and we want to thank all of you for joining us today. Lots more coming up on the Tobago Updates, the Tobago Updates channel. We've got GMT coming up in just a little while with Chanel, but more than that, you know, lots more coming up even during the day. So, viewers, we thank you again for joining us. Have a great day. Stay safe on the roads as we head on over to GMT. Bye-bye, everybody.
Transforming commitment into results. That's the motto of one of Tobago's most prolific athletic clubs, Zenith Athletic Club. The club has been around for over 3 decades and consistently produces outstanding international athletes. And as the athletes excel, they're honored for their efforts.
I want to congratulate the coaches, the people who form this wonderful organization. I really wanted to give them a round of applause.
So you have to see yourself as a business. So my challenge to sporting groups and sporting bodies this year is to see yourself as a business, organize yourself as a business, and mind your business.
I feel awesome. I feel amazing. I didn't expect to get Athlete of the Year for Zenith. I'm very grateful, and I want to thank Mommy and my whole support system, which is my family, my aunties, my cousins, and one of my closest friend, Ansel, child sis.
I feel good because I know how much I worked towards it. I was in plenty pain at the point in time because I had the injury. So while working towards it, the injury was giving me a lot of pressure. So it is very nice to see that my hard work pay off.
Founders of the club, brothers Gerard and Wade Franklin, have now passed on the baton to younger coaches. They were honored for their guidance, dedication, and commitment throughout the years.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorn's Place, with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorn's Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Tobago. You guys know I am your host, Chanel Felix, and whenever you see me here, we are having those conversations that you want to have and asking those questions that you want to know to get your morning started the right way. Now, this morning, before we get into a number of interesting conversations as we do here on GMT, I'm going to start off by giving you guys your news in 90 seconds. Now, one man was released from prison following an appeal in a stabbing incident. No retrial was ordered for Robert Green because the assistant DPP said there was not enough evidence to pursue it further. Green and another man, Hakeem Joseph, both of Darrell Springs, Scarborough, were charged with the murder of 17-year-old Zach Searam on September the 1st, 2010. The teenager was stabbed when he intervened in an attempt to part a fight by throwing bottles at one of the men. He was chased into a mall and stabbed by his assailants. Searam died 7 days later despite visiting the hospital 3 times. In October 2017, Justice Frank C. Passad found the Tobago Regional Authority culpable in Searam's death. Additionally, frequent cancellations of sailings for the Cabo Star cargo vessels are causing disruptions to the business sector on the island. The vessels' sailings are disrupted whenever there is a cruise ship in the port, both in Scarborough and Port of Spain. Both ports are unable to accommodate cruise ships along with the Cabo Star at the same time. As a result, Tobago's businessmen said the frequent changes are affecting the delivery of goods and services to Tobago, and they are frustrated at this time. They are calling on the authorities to find an intermediary to solve this problem. And finally, the Ministry of Works and Transportation reminded the public that traffic wardens appointed by the Commission of Police have the authority to issue fixed penalty notices to motorists who violate the rules of the road. The ministry issued a press release yesterday following the viral video depicting an attack on a traffic warden by an off-duty police officer. It stated that anyone who interferes with a traffic warden on duty can incur a fine of up to $10,000. And that was your news in 90 seconds. Guys, this morning we are about to have a conversation that has been very prominent in the space of late. And that has to do with the new appointment of a police commissioner or a commissioner of police here in Trinidad and Tobago. And so the merit list has been published, and we have at the top of the merit list now Mrs. Erla Christopher. And this has stirred a bit of a controversy with the opposition asking questions about this appointment. And we have even heard the former Commissioner of Police, Mr. Gary Griffith, who also coming out to speak a bit about why there are questions surrounding this possible new appointment. And this morning, I have the privilege of discussing with Mr. Griffith a bit more on this. And so, good morning, Mr. Griffith. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I am. Good morning. Are you hearing me?
Good morning. I am Chanel Felix, and welcome to Tobago Updates. We are excited to have you here this morning. Now, we have been following a bit about what you have been saying regarding this, this new merit list, and persons may wonder, why would you reapply for the position, knowing the tensions that, you know, currently is between you and this current administration? Why? It has been a question mark in the space. Answer that for the people.
Sure, tension. No, that's an understatement. Much more than tension. I did it specifically to show to the country the type of flawed constitution that we have. The fact is that when I applied in 2018, I had no police experience, and I acquired 82%, and this was based on qualified persons who were experts, international law enforcement experts from the United Kingdom who did the process. I acquired 82% to Erla Christopher's 52. In 2021, when we did the merit list again, I got 94.8% to Erla Christopher's 74. So I applied specifically to show how flawed our constitution is, because it meant that all that is required is that the prime minister, who handpicks the president, she then handpicks persons in what is supposed to be an independent body, and they could easily manipulate a process. So I did this specifically to show two things: that the constitution is so flawed that we must change it, because you cannot continue to have a prime minister virtually handpicking the president, the chief justice, the speaker of the Senate, the president of the House, the commissioner of police, the chief of defense staff, all the state board members, and indirectly all of the independent bodies. This has to stop, because that is known as democratic dictatorship. So that is why I applied to expose, because I knew fully well that the country would have known that if it is that I got 30% more than most people in 2018 without policing experience, in 2021 I got 94% more than, and 20% more than Erla Christopher and everybody else. I did this to show that now they are going to come now to say that I didn't top the merit list. So it shows that the government can manipulate an independent body. So that was the first thing. The second was to show that regardless of what, as politicians, you should do what is right for the country. So if there is somebody who ensured that there was the highest reduction in crime in the history of Trinidad and Tobago, I was able to reduce murders by over 250, every violent crime by 30%. Someone who was able to increase public trust and confidence in the police from 14 to 55%. And 89% of the country wanted him to return. And on his departure, we moved from 340 murders in his last year to over 600 murders. I wanted the country to show that this one man would disregard all of this, not care if there's blood flowing in the street. He is not going to select who the country wants. He is not going to select who may really be the best person for the job. He is going to select based on his emotion, his anger, which goes back to Patrick Manning's words. You see a man full of hate, bitterness, anger, and gets totally out of control if he cannot have his way. This was done specifically to show to Trinidad and Tobago that your assets could never get optimum security if this man remains as the head of government in this country. That was
and Mr. Griffith, you are known for your bold tactics against fighting crime and for being extremely vocal on some of the underlying issues that lead to the high number of crime that we see here in the country, Trinidad and Tobago. But you have also stood vehemently against being used as a political tool or as a political pawn, especially to this current administration. Now, with your track record, what do you think that says for the democracy? You spoke about the fact that just the Prime Minister himself is selecting all these positions that are supposed to be independently selected. What do you think it says for the future of democracy in Trinidad and Tobago?
Yeah, and that is the reason why I'm going back to put in the political ring. I have to get back in government to reduce the powers of a government. That is, and governments they come and go, and they do not change the constitution because they benefit from this type of democratic dictatorship, where you as one person, as the prime minister, would, as I said, handpick every single state board member because you have appointed the president, so the president can very well make selections based on what you tell her or him, and then it has to change. So that is the reason why I have gone back into the political ring, to put an end to this, because we cannot have this type of democratic dictatorship. That is what is happening now. And if it is that you, again, as what you spoke about me as the commissioner of police, you're not going to get everybody as a commissioner of police having the strength and the moral courage to stand firm and say, no, what you're doing is wrong, it is illegal, it is immoral, it is unethical, and it is in breach of the constitutional rights of citizens. When Keith Rowley and I had our first clash, it's because of his ignorance and not even understanding the law. He wanted me he alluded to the police going out there to arrest persons in their homes. And I stood firm because I had no intention to breach the constitutional rights of citizens. This is what happened in 2010 or 2011, when we had the state of emergency and politicians were able to influence the police, and the police arrested 500 Afro-Trinidadian boys without due process, and we paid the price. I had no intention to be a puppet to any politician. And it is the problem we have in this country, where it is perceived that you as the commissioner of police, you have to report to a prime minister. If you listen to the words of this prime minister, his words have always been, I have directed, I have mandated, I have instructed, I have summoned. That is the character of the individual. He doesn't know how to serve. He knows how to direct and order. And he believes that because they have the number of votes to appoint the commissioner, that person now must worship him and listen to him. That does not work. Because if you do that, you're going to get a prime minister or a government that will tell a commissioner, I am giving you 45 million TT, and you have to use this money to only hire attorneys to arrest or to investigate political opponents. Oh, by the way, that was already done. So it shows the point. And then on the other side of the coin, when I was commissioner, I'm dealing with the AV drilling investigation, which made for disturbing reading. And then when I asked for a mere 100,000 TT to have an engineer verify what was in the report, it was refused. So it shows now that the government is now manipulating and trying to influence the police service. And that is what you call creeping dictatorship. So I had to put an end to it, and I had no intention to be the puppet to any politician. Let me just quickly add a simple example for people, because many times people are so politically caught up, they misinterpret the laws. In the United States, 23 police chiefs told the most powerful man in the world, Donald Trump, during the time with Black Lives Matter and so forth, to shut up. They told the US president, shut up. You are making comments that will continue to affect the security of people in my district, in my precinct, in my city. That is what you call a developed country. In this banana republic, we are so caught up in believing that I must worship my political leader, the commissioner of police is out of place. You do not understand. You need to have an independent commissioner of police. And I was independent. And that is what this government does not want. They want to have a political tool and a puppet to be the commissioner of police. Wrong guy.
And you, in your previous statements, you admonished Earl Christopher not to be used. Do you really think that her appointment is strategic in the government's attempt to continue to have that hold and control over the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service?
Yeah, definitely. But this is not in any way indicative of Earl Christopher. She has done nothing wrong. And this is why I will continue to ask the public, let us not demonize the lady, because it is obvious that there's political manipulation in the process. Let me add quickly, there's a letter that actually came to the other shortlisted members. I was one of the shortlisted candidates. And they wrote to us yesterday to inform us that our application for the assessment for Commissioner of Police, we were not successful. How could you as a Police Service Commission state that it was not successful when the process is still ongoing? You know why? because it shows that the government has immediate influence in the Police Service Commission, and there's a lot of dialogue. So the Police Service Commission, as incompetent and maybe as politically biased as they are, had the audacity, and they have now slipped by sending correspondence to candidates even before the process has ended. They didn't say that, Gary Griffith, you have placed second or third or whatever. They said you have not been successful. How will you know I'm not successful?
And this is so because it still has to go before the lower house to be debated.
Exactly. So for the Police Service Commission to have submitted this letter, it shows that there's collusion between the politicians and members of the Police Service Commission, because they are so sure that Ulla Christopher is going to be appointed. The fact is, again, I want to continue to ask Trinidad and Tobago, we need to give her full support. She has done nothing wrong. It is for her now. Her performance is going to be measured. Whether she decides to pick up the baton from myself to try to transform the police service, lift moral and motivation, build public trust and confidence, and put back in the policies that I had that ensure the highest reduction in crime, that is one choice. Does she intend to operate just like Mr. Jacob, be in some way shut down, dismantle, sideline everything, and that has caused the highest spike in crime? The ball is in her court, so we need to support her. The point, however, it shows that when you select someone who got 30% less than another candidate and then 20% less in the last two systems, it shows what has happened here. It is unfortunate, and it is hoped that she will not operate as a political tool, and she will make sure she adheres to her oath in office.
And so can we see some type of legal action coming from you upon the receipt of this letter from the Police Service Commission?
Sorry, I lost you there. What was that?
I say, can we see some type of legal action coming from you upon receiving this letter from the Police Service Commission as it being premature?
Oh, no, not at all. It is the court of public opinion is what I want. I have been there. I have done that. I have served my country for 3 years as a police service commissioner of police, and 89% of the country wanted me to return or had no issue with me returning. That 89% have now realized the manipulation by this government, that they do not care to put the best person for the job. They just want to see if they could find someone who they can control. So that same 89%, and that means obviously there are many PNM supporters who would understand that this government doesn't care about trying to ensure my safety and security. Let us see if we can find somebody now to protect me. I give the country the assurance that in 2 years or less, I will be in a position of authority to serve you and provide you with your fundamental right of safety and security. So me taking this to court will show that if I'm trying to fight this down to be the commissioner of police, been there, done that, it is time for me to move on to other things to assist in serving the country. However, it was important to let the country know that the Police Service Commission cannot send correspondence to tell you you have not been successful whilst it is still ongoing. It shows that the Police Service Commission is either totally incompetent or totally compromised by the government. And that is how it was selected. Someone cannot get 52%. Ulla Christopher placed 12th out of 15 or 16 candidates in 2018. She got 52% to my 82. She got 74% to my 94. And this government and the Police Service Commission actually has the audacity to question the intelligence of this country, to believe that the country will buy into the fact that Ulla Christopher just got a brainstorm and all of a sudden she decided to top the merit list. We know exactly what they want and they hope for. It is hoped that Ulla Christopher stands firm, because there's legacy. There's always going to be a time when you have your last day in office, which is why I've stood firm and I could walk anywhere in the country and have the respect of the country because I did what was right. McDonald Jacobs cannot do that. Ulla Christopher needs to decide what her legacy is going to be after her last day in office as Commissioner of Police.
And what are you expecting from the public? What kind of reaction are you expecting, or are you asking for? What is your call to action?
The call to action in the public is to realize that this government will not make the right decisions towards your safety and security. It seems that there's a deliberate fear factor in having an independent commissioner of police, because he may very well investigate serving members of this government. There's obviously a deliberate intent by this government to try to manipulate the police service to target political opponents. So it is to let the country know, today it is me, tomorrow it could be you. Your phones could all be tapped. They could be checking all your finances. They could be doing everything in the hope that they could try to arrest you. This is dictatorship. So today it could be all of the persons who are in the UNC or the NTA or whoever. But tomorrow it could be you, because they feel that you're not worshiping the PNM. This is not the type of government we want. So to the 300,000 supporters of the PNM, I am not casting aspersions on the party. It is the hierarchy of the party that have failed to deliver. They have now become a dictatorship to themselves. And you need to understand that you have family, you have assets. You need to ensure that your wife is not raped, that your daughter is not kidnapped, that your son is not killed. And this government obviously has sidelined that because of their hatred and bitterness for everyone who is not in their political party. So what I am
Mr. Griffith, how relevant
right
do you think is the concerns that has been put forward by the opposition in regards to Mrs. Christopher's retirement that's coming in May? Because the opposition have raised concerns about the fact that she's about to retire in May. You think this is relevant?
That is not of it's not of any great relevance, because she would be 60 in 4 months, but you can easily get a year extension by through cabinet. So that is not going to be a factor. So she is going to serve as the substantive commissioner of police for at least a year and 4 months. So that is not going to be an issue. Just like how Mr. Jacobs stayed until he was 61. And then when they realized that Jacob was not adhering to their wishes, and because of the situation of the highest spike in crime in the history of Trinidad and Tobago, they made him the fall guy. So they threw him out like a dog and then brought in Ella Christopher, because he still had another 15 months. So now the government has to pay McDonald Jacobs for the contract to pay him off, because they did not want him anymore. He was used and abused, and now they've brought in Ella Christopher in the hope that she will be able to toe the political line and do what is required. Because right now I actually have Mr. Jacob in court. I'll be taking him to court. He decided to have the audacity to intercept all of my phones. When you have a commissioner of police intercepting the phones of law-abiding citizens without any due process, without any evidence, it shows how dangerous we have become. This has now become a police state. It is because of the manipulation of the government, who have now pushed themselves deep into the bowels of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. This must end. It could only end if this government is removed from office democratically.
And I know that is a quite interesting allegation there in regards to your phones being tapped. However, before we wrap up this interview, tell us what we can look forward to in relation to your political career in Trinidad and Tobago, because you have indicated that you're done with this police commissioner battle and you are heading on to bigger, better things where the governance of the country is concerned, in order to really impact the constitution. That is really the underlying issue of most of what we see as being, that you call it the democratic dictatorship.
Yeah, definitely. I have always spent most of my life serving my country. I spent 17 years serving my country as a military officer in the Defense Force, as a National Security Advisor, as the Minister of National Security, as the Commissioner of Police. I don't need a job. I don't need a work, which is why it is people cannot pull my strings. Because if you try to pull my strings and make me a puppet and do the wrong thing, I'm going to stand against you. That is the type of leadership this country wants. Those are the type of people that I would like around me, to ensure that I do not want yes people. I want people who really want to come out and serve, really want to put the best for this country. And that is what my intention is. And there are 150,000 persons who would always be those floating voters that become the pendulum. They become the catalyst to decide who is in government or part of government. That 150,000 is who I intend to re-energize. It started in 1981, known as the ONR, with 91,000 votes. Then after we moved across in 1991 under the NAR to 127,000 votes. We then moved on in 2007 under the Congress of the People with 147,000 votes. It is obvious it is now at least 200,000. And because of that, I am asking all of you all, the people who are not PNM or UNC till they're dead, and there's nothing wrong with that. It is your right to support your political party, whether blindly or not. What I'm asking you is that this government, please understand that this government is not looking after your interests. It is undoubtedly the most incompetent government ever in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. We have a Minister of National Security who's Minister Sleepy. When I was commissioner, I had to spend 5 minutes to get my points across because he will fall asleep while I'm speaking in meetings. This is not what we want. I am asking the country rally around not Gary Griffith, not the NTA, Trinidad and Tobago. Do what is right for the country. Blindly supporting a government, because that is no longer a cult here. That is a cult. You can't just be blindly following a party that is not looking after your interests. What has happened in the selection process for the Commissioner of Police shows that this government does not care about you. They want to make sure they control, manipulate, and dictate. I am asking you now, find the right people to serve you. And may I quickly add, as it pertains to Tobago, I spend a lot of time as Security Minister and Commissioner of Police to ensure a safer Tobago. I intend to do the same. I will be liaising constantly. I intend to communicate with your relevant governance body in Tobago to continue to show the things that I did that McDonald Jacobs shut down that caused crime to escalate after my departure. I always say a safer Tobago will be a safer Trinidad. So I intend to assist as well as much as possible to ensure the safety and security of Tobago, similar to what you would have seen when I was Minister in 2013 to 2015, and more recently as Commissioner of Police in 2018 to 2021. I intend to make Tobago safe again.
Thank you so much, Mr. Griffith, and thank you for choosing Tobago Updates, and it's always a pleasure to have you here. We have received a lot of information this morning, especially regarding this merit list, and a lot of clarity has been brought on the issue. So again, we thank you, and so we're about to take a break. Again, guys, you are tuned in to Tobago Updates. This is Good Morning Tobago, and we just had our former Commissioner of Police, Mr. Gary Griffith, informing us on why there are questions surrounding this new appointment of Earl Christopher. Guys, I'll be seeing you right after the break.
As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks a favor to
Advertise with Tobago Updates. Call 284-6597. If you have a small or large business, we can get your information in front of the masses. Reach our rapidly growing viewership on Facebook and YouTube. Promote your brand in Trinidad and the Caribbean through M&E TV Now and Gayel. Yes, we can build unique ads for your business. Call now 284-6597 and advertise with us.
The buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes for breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti served with chokers, bull joil and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Never ever worry, don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry, if your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry, what I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil will always be here for you.
Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Full disclosure with the executive every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on Tobago Updates. Real questions and honest conversations with the sole aim of keeping you fully in the know. Full disclosure with the executive every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on Tobago Updates. Mamai Lakai Home Services. We specialize in cleaning of carpets and rugs, mattresses, living room and dining room sets, vehicle detailing, cleaning and sanitizing of homes and commercial spaces. We also do landscaping and tree cutting, pressure and power washing, floor care, fumigating and air purifying. You can also call us for professional painting services, babysitting and adult sitting. Call us now 333-4430 at Mamai Lakai Home Services. We take cleaning to another level.
Welcome to Lamarge Parfait Day Spa and Wellness Center, your premier spa experience located at Bonaccord, Tobago. Visit us today for facials, cellulite treatments, body contours, body treatments, pedicures, manicures, and much more. We have gift cards for all occasions and corporate events. Connect with us on Facebook at Lamarge Parfait Day Spa or call us 273-7772.
Never ever worry, don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry, if you're nice can't get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry, what I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil will always be here for you.
Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Rest assured helped me to cope with the unexpected, provides financial help for final expenses. Rest assured, the affordable financial comfort plan, Tatil Life, guaranteed protection. Whole Life helps me secure their future, provides financial protection with added benefits. Whole Life, the affordable financial benefits plan, Tatil Life, guaranteed protection.
Our national borders, our first step to security, but a possible access point for guns, drugs, crime. If it does not look right, do the right thing. Call Crime Stoppers anonymously. 800-8477. Report possible border crime.
Hey. Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denise here. Let's go.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago here on Tobago Updates. Now, we started off with a quite interesting conversation with our former Commissioner of Police, Gary Griffith, and we move over on into some Tobago-based conversation. Now, for a long time, you hear a number of interest groups, stakeholders, NGOs, civil society organizations coming out and asking the questions, why isn't Tobago being involved in these greater national discussions and decision making? And one of those conversations that have been had very recently at an energy conference at the Hyatt Regency had to do with energy in Trinidad and Tobago and the new discoveries, where we're going with solar powered energy and how sustainable is our current source of energy. Now, we have had Mr. Curtis Douglas, who is the president of the All Tobago Fisherfolk Association here on the island. And he has came out and he has been extremely vocal and questioning why his organization or even the chief secretary himself had not been invited to this conference. A number of other issues have been raised, and this is going to be the basis for our conversation this morning. Good morning, Mr. Douglas, and welcome to Tobago Updates.
Good morning to the wider region, to Tobago and the world. It's a pleasure to be here.
Is this your first time here on Good Morning Tobago?
No, it's not the first time. The first time I'm been here with you.
Okay.
So it's a pleasure to be here this morning with you.
Excellent. And I took the time to sit and listen to the press conference that you had. Yeah. And you were extremely passionate, I must say, about that lack of Tobago involvement on wider national decision-making, especially on issues that affect us directly, especially where the source of energy is concerned, and drilling off the coast of Charlottesville and environs, just anywhere near Tobago. There has been little to no discourse happening in the Tobago space, and it seems as if even the administration is quite unaware of what is happening out there. You raised these concerns. Tell us why.
One, we see an energy summit is taking place in Trinidad and Tobago. We have people from all over the world. And it is very pertinent or important for the people of Tobago. Even though, as I said, we are twin island republic, it is very important that Tobago must have a seat on that table. For far too long, we might have a group of 15 people and one Tobagonian. We are saying it's about time we start to change that behavior, right? So we are saying a member of All Tobago Fisherfolk, a member of the assembly, and a member probably even of the community who will be affected by these decisions that is being made. We have people coming to make decisions. Now, make no mistake, Tobagonians must understand. They're talking about the dragon field with Venezuela. They're not talking about outside Speyside, outside Castara, outside Charlottesville. If you should see the map, I think Mr. Trevor James would have one point in time illustrated how much natural gas and how much Tobago contributes to the growth and the GDP of this country, right? But for some reason, we do not have a permanent or pertinent sit at the table. So they are here now to do all the energy pulling. We have lines running from Tobago, outside Tobago, gas lines, to Trinidad. Where are we at that table? Where are we at even the decision making? Where is that board for Tobago, that energy board for Tobago, to sit down and have that discussion, right? What is best for Tobago? When you look at Trinidad, I've been to Trinidad, from Trinidad 2 days ago. I seen highways running. This our gas money. This is our money, right? Highways. We can't even fix our roads in Tobago. They're not even giving Tobago the amount of money we need to develop. The TH not getting it. They're turning us into beggars. We begging for what rightfully belongs to us. We don't have a seat on the table. And Tobagonians have to say it. We are not going to take this anymore. Secondly, when they made all these deals and they pay off all these royalty to Trinidad, we are not getting any of it, you know. They're doing what they want. And they are now sending rigs, oil rigs, without even informing us. Now, it is only sensible that you contact us, which is the All Tobago Fisher Folk. Let us know that you have an oil rig and the navigation for this, or the location. This is the channel they're going to be using. This is the course they're going to be using. So if you have any fads or fish pots,
right, which are
fish attracting device. The fads are fish attracting device. I mean, the average fish attracting device now is $7,000 for one.
Wow.
And some men pay more. We have people up Belgarden paying more than that to put it down.
And Mr. Douglas, you are sure that the Chief Secretary had not been informed about these rigs be passing through?
Well, I do not know if these oil or the companies had informed Mr. Chavez, the Chief Secretary. I cannot speak on the behalf of the Chief Secretary.
Well, that's why I'm asking, did you have any conversations with him directly to find out exactly who was out there and if he had any prior knowledge to it? Because you're saying that these oil rigs should contact the All Tobago Fisher Folk Association themselves. Correct. When I think that might have been more of the role of maybe the Office of the Chief Secretary that would have reached out and let you guys know had they known.
Right. Now, for the past year, what happens? We would have been informing the Chief Secretary of damages because we have suffered a lot of damages since last year. So what Alpha Executive would have done, we have our secretaries send off some correspondence to him, notifying him of the name of the vessel that is destroying our properties, and we were looking forward him as leader to do something. So he was informed about these things. Now, I don't know if you do have the time or if you don't have it, but I know for a fact the last one that we had in Speyside, which was a press conference in Speyside, we would have informed it and he would have gotten back to us and tell us that was done by some American naval ship, was going to be demolished or whatever, and we were supposed to set up a meeting to meet with the American ambassador or whatever to treat with that. That never happened. Further from that, in November recently, we had an N35 vessel spent almost a week and more outside of Grafton, Plymouth, traversing up and down, destroying fish pots. We would have wrote to them, sent an email to them, expressing our concern and the bad loss fishermen and the hardship that these vessels are putting on us. We even sent it to the Director of Fisheries, right? Mr. Tate, Nigel Tate, big up yourself. Inform us. He sent it to the Director of Fisheries. The Director of Fisheries called me on the phone, very unprofessional. Mr. Douglas says, nothing I could do about that. They don't know anything about that. You telling me, use the Director of Fisheries. and you have a boat in our waters for over a week, going up and down, and you don't know. So we are saying, if you're not
It
able,
says a lot about water security as well.
it have Coast Guard. These, you suppose their job role is to ensure and protect the citizens.
Because we would think that they would have communication with the Coast Guard to know what vessels are out there. Unless our waters are just a free for all and anybody can just come in and do as they please.
I am saying to you right now, anybody could just take a boat and just walk right into this community. Is what is happening. There is no proper structure or enforcement. Now, kudos to the Coast Guard. When the Coast Guard wants something, or they should see a vessel normally, if we have a yacht, something, we identify a vessel. Fishermen, we try to work together. We call it in to ensure that these vessels are registered and have the right authority and pass through immigration, and they're not bringing anything like drugs or whatever. We try to protect our own, but we cannot always reach out. They have to reach out to us as well. We have to work together in order to build Tobago together. Nothing could be done alone. So when we have a fisheries officer, you know, and they not doing what they're supposed to do, I believe they should go. They should go. Because you calling me to tell me after a boat is there over Facebook, all over, right? And we send in the clips, we send videos, we send the coordinates. The coordinates is the GPS location where they are, what they're doing. All stuff is being cut away and nothing. And now recently, as we speak, there's a rig outside of Castara, Culloden right now. You could see when we drove and took the photos and the videos, we were seeing fads like they cut away and on the rigs, it ain't getting chance to even think off, right? So when they destroy all of that, men complaining, coming to ADFA complaining, that is our responsibility to get it done. I don't know what to do again. I really don't know what to do again.
And so have you written to the Chief Secretary regarding the head of fisheries as well as the compensation that is needed for these fishermen, and what response have you gotten so far?
I haven't gotten any response in the terms of actual doing. All I get is talk.
Have you gotten a letter of any sort?
All I've got is a reply from the email that we have sent to the Chief Secretary. I receive it, we will look into it. Right? Nothing. I'm telling you from since last year, this is 3 incidents I'm telling you about. And all I would have received is talk.
And so how has this affected the confidence of the Tobago Fisherfolk Association in this administration, if any?
Now, you see, for 20 years, all we always got was talk. And the talk still continue. We want to see action, right? We can't even have a meeting. You know how much time we ask a meeting with the Chief Secretary? But you telling me we have to go to a town hall meeting to have a meeting, private meeting to discuss Tobago affairs? Eh? We don't have to do that. You meet with us and let's treat what you say you're going to do it. I have no problem with the Chief Secretary, you know. I have nothing more than respect for the Chief Secretary. Understand me? But when something is right, and when it's wrong, it's wrong. If you want to victimize me for saying the truth, fine, so let it be. I will continue to say the truth, and I will continue to advocate on the behalf of the people who cannot advocate or speak for themselves, right? That is our duty, that is ADFA duty, to advocate and to ensure that the people get proper compensation for the things that they damage. Because here what? Let me say this to you. When you damage these fish attracting device, it have a ripple effect, it have a downstream effect. Because here what? We have the vendors waiting, right, to collect these fish, to sell to the public, right? And they have their families to feed. So the fishermen have their family to feed, the vendors, the restaurants, everybody have the family to feed. Everybody have the responsibility. And it's about high tide. We start to pay some more interest into this billion-dollar industry. This billion-dollar industry, all we asking for is what is just due. We don't want to come here or be on television or decide to shut down town because the Chief Secretary is not talking to us. We want development. We want growth and development. We must be able to improve.
So do you think having a conversation with the Chief Secretary is the only solution that you guys can come up with at this time?
Well, that will be the first step to a million steps.
Right.
So the first thing you have to do is to have that conversation. Because
and you do not think that having this conversation with the Assistant Secretary within the Division of Agriculture and Food Security is adequate?
No, that's not enough. Because we had that conversation.
And I think one of the issues that this administration is facing is a number of associations may have their issues and their problems, and we see them wanting to speak to the chief directly when the chief has already appointed individuals to deal with these matters. For instance, you said before there is a director of fisheries, although you may not be, supportive of him being there because of your confidence in his competence. There is a secretary.
It's not my confidence. This is the whole fishing fraternity confidence. It has been shown over and over. This gentleman, this acting director, is failing miserably. This is not something that has been outlined or been observed 1 year, 2 years. This is something been observed over quite some time. And what I'm saying to you, we would have sat down with the chief secretary. He would have promised that he would have a meeting with us and the oil companies, so all this would have not occurred. These are things that we would have had conversations with and discussed and agreed upon. To see this unfolding now for what we're going through now is quite difficult, right? It's quite difficult.
So you guys are basically just asking for a meeting?
We're not only asking for a meeting, we're asking for action.
Okay.
We need action. For example, we have a Summit Energy. We believe the chief secretary and a member of all Tobago Fisher Folk and even Works and Transport should be there to make a decision. All the royalties has been paid in Trinidad. What about the royalties that need to be paid in Tobago for Tobagonians so we could get better roads too? So when budget allocation, we have our royalties separate from that to do things to help benefit Tobagonians, the fishing industry, because what it does, it hamburgs the fishing industry. I want you to understand something. A fisherman in Trinidad is a different kettle of fish from a fisherman in Tobago. We have fine fish in Tobago. The plantains come down from Guyana, come down there, and it comes with the flying fish, right? The flying fish brings the dolphin, the tuna, the kingfish, all of these things. So we set fats, attracting device to pool it. So when you leave here, you only spend $1,000 in gas, and you go to and said, well, right, praise the Lord. I already invest $7,000 to $8,000 here, so I'm going to get some tuna or some dolphin or some kingfish. So it make it easier for you now to earn a living. But when that has been destroyed by the 1% that don't care about fishing, because we contribute to our food security on this island, and we need to be paid a bit more respect, because we are not against your company. No. We welcome them. We're willing to work with them and to develop them. All these oil companies come in here. You ain't seen nobody putting nothing to develop at a university for Tobago. You need to have somebody at the table to ensure.
Who has a vested interest.
Yes, we must have a vested interest so that Tobago could grow, not only the fishing community, but the Tobagonian itself. But it's happening in Trinidad. We ask, and we are calling upon the Chief Secretary to get involved.
Right. And so can we see a larger action coming out of the Tobago Fisher Folk Association? And, in closing, what response have you gotten from the central government, if any?
We haven't gotten any response from the central government because they don't care about Tobagonians. Quite clearly, they don't care about Tobagonians. They don't care what Tobagonians think or what they feel. But we are calling upon the Chief Secretary to make that move, to make the right decision. Listen, nobody said ruling is easy, but you have to make that concerted effort to ensure and protect the people of Tobago and the industry. We are asking that it must have a committee with the oil industry, and it must have we are asking that we have a seat on the table so we could have a dialogue and work together. Without you, with exclusion, you'll have a problem. You cannot run this island on your own. It has to be conclusive with everybody. When I mean everybody, it doesn't matter whether you're wearing black, yellow, green, white, or independent. I don't care about that. All I care about is Tobago must have a vested interest, and Tobago must have the fair share of the pie, and Tobago must be treated fairly, and the fisher folk on this island and ASFA and all the rest of NGOs must have a chance to survive and to grow and to develop and to contribute to the GDP of this little sweet island we call Tobago.
All right, and thank you, Mr. Douglas. Thank you for taking the time out to come and speak to us. And I feel like your message was clear, and the people of Tobago have gotten it. And we hope that it has reached the ears of the Chief Secretary and his administration, members of the division, especially the Director of Fisheries. And we hope to see some type of change and some type of interest being shown in the concerns of the Fisher Folk Association here on the island. Guys, we'll be back with more conversation. Be sure to stay tuned. See you guys soon.
Lifespan is the affordable critical illness plan you need. Cover expenses up to $1 million. Tattoo Life, guaranteed protection.
If you see or know about a crime, report a crime safely and anonymously. Call 800-TIPS. Help stop crime. You can play your part safely and anonymously. Report a crime. Earn a reward. Call 800-TIPS. Help stop crime. Be a hero, champion, fearless citizen. Be a crime stopper safely and anonymously. Call 800-TIPS. Help stop crime.
Yeah. Hey.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. We already said this morning is going to be jam-packed, and we're having those conversations. And as we wind up our session here this morning on Good Morning Tobago, we're ending it off on a youth-focused note as we talk about the Tobago Player Development Project. Now, this project has to do with the development of young athletes here on the island of Tobago. Specifically, we see in the area of football and just the entire all-round development of all athletes here in Tobago. And this morning, I have the privilege of sitting in an online interview with Frankie Mohammed and Wendell Moore. And they are, we have Frankie, who is the director of coaching the Tobago Players Development Project, as well as Wendell Moore. I'm not sure if he's here as well with us this morning. Yes, we have him here as well. I can see you on screen now. Good morning, guys. Mr. Moore is the technical director for the Tobago Player Development Program. And when we talk about player development, you guys are looking into a more holistic approach to developing athletes. A lot of the times we see young persons here, especially in the island of Tobago, that have the necessary talent, but when it comes to the environment, the tools, the facilities, and what it takes to really truly develop a holistic athlete, especially here in Tobago, it is often lacking. When we talk about leadership, motivation, the type of agility training, and the different things that are needed outside of just being out there on the field, you guys, this is what you have, this is what your program is supposed to accomplish. Tell us more about the Tobago Player Development Project. Mr. Moore.
Tobago, thanks for having us on. Well, it's just, as you know, some of our mission statement is basically trying to get the elite group of players and try to formulate all their talents and try to keep it in one unit to give them a pathway to, you know, college or professional, whatever direction they want to go in their soccer, football career. That's it in a nutshell, and both we will be expanding all these different things as we go. Frankie, you could take over.
Yes, first of all, thank you for having us on this morning. We really appreciate you taking the time out to give us an air so we can address our nation, Trinidad and Tobago, specifically Tobago, because as you know, Wendell and I, we are definitely products of the soil of Tobago. And I just want to reflect back, springboard back to what you mentioned about player development. And by extension, it has to also come along with coaching development, because great students are always a product of great teachers. And player development just doesn't start on the soccer field. We really and truly want to start to address the other basic things that it takes to really and truly develop a student athlete. And it has to do with a lot of just very basic things, from what do these players do in terms for preparation. It starts from home, it could be from nutrition, it could be from the way they apply themselves at school, the different simple disciplines that it takes to develop a young mind. Because with respect to the game, we have a philosophy that it's all about 80% cognitive and 20% physical. So great players starts with developing great minds. And that's what, when we say we are holistic, we just don't want to focus on just the physical attributes, because there are basically 4 pillars in an athlete's life. And the psychological pillar is one of them also that is overlooked sometimes in football. We want to address those things also. And then we want also address those technical, tactical, and those social, mental aspects in the player development.
And so one of the questions I want to ask is this Tobago Player Development Project, do you guys have a relationship with international recruiters that are going to be present when you have these recruitment sessions, or are you handpicking a group and taking them away to go to tryout in Florida, let's say, or wherever those tryouts may be? How is that going to function? Because you have indicated that a large part of the development project for athletes here on the island, especially where football is concerned, has to do with bringing international opportunities. So tell us, how does the recruiting thing work?
Well, that's our main intention. So try to see how best we could expose our talent from the Tobago point of view, where we get these players, even bring scouts, talent showcase, college showcase, pro showcase to the island to see their talent, and or take them to the US or different parts of the world to showcase their talent. So yes, that's our main intention. We just need a elite set of group for now. We'll be hosting tryouts in different locations in the country and down on the west side. And we try to handpick with the inclusion of the local coaches. They are also part of our stakeholders and who is also involved and buy into what we're trying to do, and see if we can get the best crop of players training constantly. Again, some might be leaving or coming in as we go, and we just try to keep developing them over the years. And it would not be a one-day program or whatever. It'd be a projection down the road. Make sure, set it out a good short-term and long-term project to make sure develop the players to the point where we could be able to have them seen internationally.
Mr. Mohammed, tell us a bit about your relationship, if any, with the Division of Community Development and Sport.
And when you say the Division of Community Development and Sport, are you specifically speaking about the Tobago facet?
The THA,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, we want to definitely incorporate the THA into this project, into this initiative. We do have some close relationships with the THA with respect to the Ministry of Sports. We want to bring them onto this project or into this initiative and get their full support. We know that it is starting out right now. This project, this initiative is starting out right now as a small group of really passionate players, past players, former coaches and present coaches. But if we could continue to show the vision and to show exactly how this could benefit the student athlete first, we are quite confident that the THA will see the value in this and definitely come on board full time with us.
Okay, and another question I have, any one of you guys can take a go at this. One of the things about having a successful athlete as a kid, especially one who you see a lot of promise in, maybe under 12, you know they have a future, most likely in international football. But how do you, or how would you guys be preparing parents for those opportunities coming to their kids? Because a lot of the times, you know, although parents see the talent and they have all the best wishes, when it's time for them to actually get that opportunity and for them to let go and to allow them to travel with a coach and, you know, travel sometimes where parents are unable to go there, it becomes a conflict where I don't know if I'm ready for him or her to go out there alone already. What is being done on that level?
I'll let Wendell take a stab at it first, because Wendell is a very good example, because Wendell has a son that just competed with the U.S. national team in the World Cup in Qatar. So I'll let Wendell speak more from a hands-on, and then me from as a point of view as a teacher and a role model here in Canada. I will also speak a little on that also after.
Let me start off by saying it's a tough road. That's a tough one. But again, because I live it and understand it, I am a product of Bertie Sinclair, and I am my family also. I always call my father Sergeant Moore, in the sense that I am more into tough love. Well, I know mothers might have a different take on that. And I also believe life is a chance, and sometimes it comes and you might not take it and it mightn't come again. So because I live it, I might be able to explain to the parents or mothers, both parents, father and mother, if you realize the kid is going that direction and you have talent, again, it's hard, but you have to steer the kid in the direction he wants to go. Again, I know education is also important, but you could study till you're 100 years old, 200 if you want. But soccer or football have a window that if you get the opportunity, I think you should take it. And the families and parents should support these kids. Once they see they have the talent, go with them. Okay, the cycling, netball, basketball, feel out all those areas that they're good in and take them and go with them in that way. That was always my take on it. All my boys, they play different sport, and then I look and fine tune and say, okay, they have more ego and energy going in this direction, and you go that way. That's how I did.
Wendell is very hands-on because he has lived this. But from my experience, dealing with parents starts with educating them, giving them the background and the knowledge as to the environment that themselves and their children are in. And the environment has to be a trusting environment. It has to be an environment they trust. And when I say the environment, I'm speaking about from the organization, whether it's an academy or a club, all the way down to the coaches, even the support system that the club or the academy has. So it has to be an environment that they trust. They have to see your vision, and they also have to buy into your vision. They have to trust that the pathway that you are presently on is one that is nurturing, that can help develop the player, the athlete, the student holistically, not only about football, but the psychological aspect of it, and the emotional and the social aspect of it. So it's all about educating the parents. And now let me just reflect back, because you mentioned how do I deal with a parent with a 12-year-old? Well, it's very unrealistic that at 12-year-old we be looking at moving the player into maybe an international environment because of FIFA laws. But at 12, it is the time that you really and truly start to educate the parents, and also get the children involved into an environment of traveling maybe to Trinidad, traveling to the other Caribbean islands, and they start to develop that understanding of what that responsibility is to be away from mom and dad. Now, like Wendell and I, when we left Trinidad and Tobago on our scholarships, I was 17, Wendell was 18. But our environment through Bertil Sinclair and through the National Youth Program had already developed us and give us the tools so that when we went out there on our own, although we were roommates for our entire university career, but it gave us the tools to be responsible. the tools to handle individual study plans, the tools to handle how do we prepare our meals and do our laundry, and how do we speak and communicate to get ourselves around a university system and in a country like the US. So yes, it's not an overnight thing, but eventually, by the time you get to 12, 13, 14, 15, we would have already imparted those tools and those strengths or those things that you will need in order to survive as in an
excellent.
adult
And you
world
guys
today.
have a trials that is happening on February the 12th at the Plymouth grounds. Just tell us a bit about that before we wrap up the interview. How can parents get involved? How can athletes get involved? What are the requirements? Is there a fee to participate, or do the students need to be a part of a school team or a club in order to come out? Let us know.
This is a free, open forum. Again, we're trying to include everyone. We are also working on February 11th for the countryside up that way. So we're trying to get availability of fields and so forth, the cricket and all these different things. But the 12th is Plymouth Recreation Ground. The U13 to U15, 9 a.m. sharp, so you could do all the necessary registration and so forth. And then U17 to 20, the bigger boys, the high school boys, 11 a.m. start. Again, if you could get there before so you can make sure and take care of all the registration, it's much better. So again, February the 12th. Plymouth
All right,
Ground,
excellent. And you guys mentioned Mr. Burton Sinclair a lot during your conversation. And as we wrap up, is there anything that you want to say or any shout outs that you want to send as we wrap up our interview this morning?
Yeah, well, definitely, I want to shout out the entire island of Tobago because it is our home soil, and the support from everyone, from teachers all the way down to our coach, Burton Sinclair, who have nurtured us over the years, and we are now trying to put ourselves in a position where we can give back the way they give back to us. And by the way, shout out to you too.
Excellent.
Well, thank you, and thank you, Tobago, and Coach Burton Sinclair. Again, he is our father when coming to soccer. I learned most of my training skill from him, even mannerism, even lifestyle from Coach Burton Sinclair. Again, I always give him the kudos, thanks for all that he done. Part of my family. But thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. And it is so awesome to see Tobagonians paying it forward. It's so important for us to give back what has been given to us to the next generation that's coming. And so parents, you heard it here. You have the Tobago development project that's happening, and on the field, you say on the 11th, it's going to be in the countryside. They're not sure the venue is to be announced, but we're sure that this is free. It's free of charge. There's the under 13 and under 15, and there's the under 17 and under 20 trials would be held at the Plymouth grounds on February the 12th. So bring out your young athletes. You have these kids, you see they have potential. You see it in them. You see they have the power in the kick. You see the agility, and you see the potential. Be sure to send your neighbor out, your friend, your cousin, anybody who knows somebody that knows somebody. Be sure to make sure to get the young people involved, to get these international opportunities, to get a scholarship, to go to college, and to really represent Tobago on a global scale. Guys, that's all we have for this morning. Interesting conversations again. We started off with Mr. former Commissioner of Police, Gary Griffith. Then we spoke to the All Tobago Fisher Folks Association. Then we spoke to the Athlete Development Project, the Players Development Project here in Tobago. And it's just a lot that's happening. And I can't wait to see you guys next time right here on GMT. So enjoy the rest of your day. And thank you for tuning in.
Wake up with Candace and Natisha.
Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise.